Alright folks, we're going to do this over again. The last video I put up, the video was made I think by a squirrel on crack. Even people that knew how to crochet said, what the heck was that about? So we're going to do it step by step so we can enjoy making these slippers. I am using a 4-ply yarn, Studio Classic by Nicole. They call this color orange. It's actually more pumpkin-y to me, I think, but it's 4-ply. Any 4-ply yarn of your choice would work. And you have your choice of hooks. You can use a G hook, an H hook, or an I hook. I'm using an H. And we're going to start out with our slip knot on our hook, and we're going to chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Now we're going to single crochet in the first chain from the hook, which is here, and we're going to single crochet all the way across. You should have 12 single crochets when you get to the end, and we will be crocheting in the back loops only when we get to our next row. Everything's in the back loops, which gives it a nice ridges and a lot of stretch. The slippers will be very stretchy. When you first look at them, you don't think they're going to fit anyone, but they will. Trust me, darling, they will. So we're getting there. Some days I can't crochet as fast as other days, but it's okay. It's still relaxing. Still an enjoyable hobby. I meet some really nice people, nice ladies for the most part, in the crochet aisle, or the yarn aisles at craft stores. Like crochet aisle. My favorite craft store, oh my gosh, they have the best sales on yarn. I've become addicted to yarn. They have like, you buy one, get 2 free. Oh man, I'm in there. I don't even have a project lined up for it, but I'm buying up yarn. I figure, hey, I can put it away. It doesn't go bad, right? It doesn't spoil. Okay, so we made it to the end of the row. We should have 12 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now you simply crochet 1, chain 1, chain 1, and here's your first stitch. We're going to single crochet in the back loop only. Do you see the back loop here? That's what we do, right in the back loop. And we're going to do that all the way across. Pull out some yarn. We're getting there. 1, 2. I learned my lesson about going too fast. Now I'm too slow, right? This is a real super fast refresher course for our beginning crocheters. We're using all single crochet through the whole piece. So it's going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and then draw through both loops. There's your single crochet. Now we're going to work in the back loop only, the next stitch, and every stitch from now on. Yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through both loops. Go through, insert your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. That's a single crochet. With a double crochet, you yarn over before you do all that, but this is a real simple pattern. Just single crochet. And really, when you get this down pat, you could probably make a pair of these in, 2 hours. Like, this is a great little project for those last minute Christmas gifts. I've made these in the Christmas color yarn, the red, green, and the white, and it's real pretty. Or, well, use any color you want, but I wouldn't use white. You're going to be walking in these slippers. Now, unless your floor is that clean, you can eat off of it. I would avoid white. Use white, though, for your edging. That'll look nice. I've done that many a time. So we're getting down to the end here for the next row. We're going to single crochet in the last stitch, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn and continue again in this pattern. 12 single crochets in each row, back loop only, and then chain 1 and turn. Would you believe I had to frog a row? I had to rip out a row. I'm just going along and I'm counting, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I've only got, I think, 11 and I needed 12. So it doesn't matter how long you've been crocheting. I mean, we make boo-boos. I have been crocheting, easily 50 years. I'm no spring chicken anymore. Let's just say that people say, well, how old are you, Christy? My answer is, well, if you were to measure my age in dog years, I'd be dead. So, still just plugging along, single crochet, back loop only. Every now and then, just do what I just did. Stop and make sure you've still got 12. Sometimes one stitch goes rogue on you and takes off, and you're like, where'd that stitch go? Alright, here's the last one on the end. Single crochet, chain 1 and turn. See the ridges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the wrong side. Remember, the right side is where the tail is on the lower left. That's going to be our right side. So you remember that, so when we are ready to put the booty all together, you have the right sides together when we fold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm up to 5 loops, ridges. Hopefully you guys are doing a little better than I am. But we'll get there eventually. It's not a race. So I guess I'll just keep plugging along, and I'll catch up in a few minutes. Okay, I've made it up to the 10th ridge, and that would be, I guess, the 20th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to do 2 more rows, or 4 more rows, so we have 2 more ridges. And then do not fasten off, and I'll show you how to turn this strip of fabric into a slipper. Don't go away. Okie dokie, we do have our 12 ridges, and do not fasten off. Keep that loop on your hook, because we are going to work across this edge up here, which is the ends of all the rows. So chain 1, and then single crochet in the end of the row, like that. And it looks like the next, you basically want 24 single crochets evenly spaced across. You don't want 2 in one space. You don't want big spaces in between the single crochets. You just want to try to do 24 evenly across, because that's every row, right? We have 24 rows here. So, all right, I'll catch you up, meet up with you at the end of the row. It's a little trick I do sometimes. I've got my 24, but when I was right down near the end, I said, uh-oh, I'm going to have 25 stitches. So what I did was I decreased 1 stitch, so now I still have 24 single crochets in the rows. And now what we're going to do is chain 1, and do the same thing that we did, and this is actually the toe edge. This is actually going to wrap around a person's foot, and their toes are going to be in here. It's going to be very stretchy, so even if they have a wide foot, it will fit. Okay, so onward and upward. Oh, and a thought occurred to me that if you can't remember the formula, basically the amount of stitches, just remember 12/24. That's Christmas Eve. 12/24. Start out with 12 single crochets. Over here, back and forth. For 12 ridges. We're just plugging along. Single crochet, back loop only. Same thing as the toe edge. Single crochet. I'm going to take a little longer this time because I've got 24 stitches, right, as opposed to just having 12, so. Then I'll show you how to put it all together. And again, keep the tails long, and you will thank me when you see what we do with those tails. Okay, we'll see you back in a few minutes. Have you ever noticed when you're working on a project, let's say with thick yarn and a big hook, and then you go to a project that's got 4-ply yarn and a smaller hook? Do you ever have a little difficulty? Or like I used to crochet doilies with the number 10 cotton thread and a size 7 needle. And it's weird because you're used to working maybe with the big project and a size L hook, super bulky yarn, and then you got this, it's just odd feeling, and you have to give yourself a few minutes to kind of get adjusted to it. But it's like riding a bike. You never forget. You get back in the swing of it. By the way, I feel I should tell my crocheting friends out here on YouTube that one of the groups I belong to on Facebook, oh, it's a wonderful group. And I believe it's run by Mikey, who used to be a truck driver like me. Yep. I drove a semi for 21 years. When I first started in 1996, you didn't really see any women out there at all. And I'd get looked at like I had 3 heads. Back in the day, we all had CB radios. We all talked to each other. And I'll be honest, I think the men were nicer to me back then than they are now to the ladies that are in trucking. And there's a lot more women, because the insurance companies have recognized the value of lady truckers, that we tend to be a lot safer, a lot more courteous, who smell good. So, yeah, lady truckers have been an absolute asset to the industry. But Mikey's group is called the Crochet Crowd on Facebook, and yes, he does have the Crochet Crowd YouTube channel also, but the group is wonderful. Just a lot of supportive ladies ready to help. You know, give us some advice if you need. I hope to meet you up in there. In the meantime, I'm going to just keep crocheting away until we get 12 ridges with this side too. So I was just going along here, and I took my stitch count. And somewhere along the line, one stitch went rogue on me and took off somewhere. It's like I had one less stitch. I had 23 instead of 24. But I will tell you, this pattern's forgiving. We can sneak another stitch somewhere in the middle of the row and get back to 24. It won't show, trust me. It's on the bottom of the foot. It's where it's going to be. And it won't impact the total piece. So you will find patterns that are sometimes kind of forgiving, that if you make an oops, it's not too bad where you have to rip out a whole lot. Which is good to know. Especially if you're on a time limit, you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I've only got a week before Christmas. I've got to start making these booties. Oh yeah, I learned this pattern back in, I think, the mid-'80s. I drove a senior citizen bus for Woodbridge Township in New Jersey. And one of the buildings was all seniors. And they were having their like little inside yard sale and craft show. And I see these little slippers on the table. I said, my goodness, these are so small. And she showed me how they stretched. It's like, oh my gosh, they'll fit my foot. I have a size 8 and a wide foot. But she didn't put an edging on it. She just had the plain bootie. And she wanted $4, which I thought was kind of a lot in the 80s, $4. But I couldn't figure out how she made it. So I unraveled it. I managed to unravel it and pull it apart. And I said, oh, okay. Now I have made them like 1,000 times since then. And yeah, it just gets easier as you get along with any pattern. Especially this one, it'll get easier. And you'll be whipping them out in no time. And they make wonderful, wonderful gifts. And a Studio Classic by Nicole. It is an acrylic yarn. Let's see, where does it show? Yep, 100% acrylic. I like acrylic, to be honest with you. It's wash and wear. It's got nice springiness to it. Some people prefer natural fibers. Well, that's fine, but you got, a lot more, I guess, hassles with like 100% wool. Well, the good thing with a 100% wool is you can really get creative and you can dye it yourself. Make it into like a roving yarn, or like some of the cakes that have all the pretty colors in them. You can only do that with wool. You cannot do it with anything else. I don't even know if you can do it with cotton. But I don't know what row you guys are up to, but I think I'm on the 5th ridge. I think it'd be 5 on one side and 6 on the other, right? Just remember, the lower left where the tail is, that's your right side. Okay, end of the row. Chain 1 and turn. What have we got here? Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ridges, I think. Yep, oh my goodness. I have to take a little break, and I will be back, and we'll continue to crochet along. You guys just keep going. Just remember, 12 ridges. And then you can fasten them off, but leave a super long tail. Well, maybe about 1.5 foot tail, but leave 1.5 foot. You're going to use that tail to sew up the back seam, the heel. You'll see when I come back. I did forget to mention that there is a good amount of yarn in this skein by Nicole. I think there's 372 yards. You're easily going to get 2 pair of slippers or 4 singles, maybe even more. I haven't got there yet. We'll see how many booties or slippers I can make out of this one skein. It's a nice feeling yarn. It's not splitting. It's not pilling. It's not fuzzing up. I haven't come across any crummy joins where it's broke and they had to retie it, and its color is uniform throughout. So this is a nice yarn. I'm enjoying this. And of course it was on sale. So I bought plenty of it. The word got out a week or so ago that Ollie's Bargain Basement, or Ollie's Bargains, had bought out a whole lot of Bernat yarn, the blanket yarn, and they bought out Woolies yarn. I guess the factories made too much. I'm like, whoopee! I think everything was $1.99 for a skein. I bought 27 skeins of the Woolies, which is 20% wool. And I don't know how many of the Bernats I bought. I got quite a few. I spent about $50 on both hauls. And I was a happy, happy camper. I've already made a blanket with the Woolies for my cousin and his wife. I don't know what I'm doing with the Bernat yet. Probably a nice blanket too. Don't know who's going to be the lucky recipient of it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I hope everyone's doing well. Just single crocheting in the back loop, back and forth. Oops. Alrighty, we're in the home stretch. Only a few more to complete my 24th row or my 12th ridge. And don't fasten off quite yet, because you do have a couple options as to, do you want to whip stitch it, do you want to slip stitch it. If you slip stitch it, you'll want to leave your yarn attached. So there's the last single crochet. Let me show you how to turn this into a bootie. See this? And the tail is on the lower left. Alright, that means that's the right side. You're simply going to fold it in half lengthwise. Can you see that? Fold it in half lengthwise. Now see where I've ended up here? My yarn is right here. Now I could cut the yarn and just whip stitch it, or I could slip stitch it with the crochet hook and then fasten it off and use the needle to weave my end in. But this is your heel. This is the toe. Alrighty, so I guess I will fasten off. Okay, remember how to fasten off. Got your loop, your last stitch loop, and just take the yarn and draw it through and pull it, snug it up a little bit, and there you go, it's finished off. But now we're going to take that long tail, fold your piece in half the lengthwise, right sides together, and then get your yarn needle, or again you could slip stitch with the crochet. It's up to you. Matter of personal preference. It actually does save a few minutes time too if you wanted to do that. It does make it nice and really sturdy. Okay, get this hook threaded up. Here we go. Here we go. I just try to get a nice even. Yep, that's the right sides together. Okay, we're good. We're good. My hands are, I don't know what it is with my hands today. I had a 5-pound bag of sugar at the store and I grabbed that and lands on the floor. Some days you get the dropsies, you know, you just can't seem to hang on to anything. Alright, so just continue up to this way until you get to the end. Fasten it off, and you just want to weave your end in with your yarn needle, make a nice finish. I usually weave it in at least twice. So there's once, and you want to hide your end and secure it so it doesn't come out in the wash. And here's twice. Just get in there, split the yarns, and tuck it in real nice. Don't pull it real tight. Just, there you go. That's a done deal. The heel is done. Okie dokie. Now, the next part. The next part is going to be this section right here. See, that's why you want this long tail that we left. Because this is the top of the toe. And you wanted that long tail because once you sew that, you're going to use the rest of it to gather up the toe edge. Like you do with when you make a winter hat. Sometimes you gather up the very top of it and pucker it all up and secure it. Well, that's the same thing with this toe. As a matter of fact, I just happen to have one handy that's been done. See how the toe is here? It's all sewed up. And try to be nice and neat with your stitches on the top edge. Whoops, here we go. That's a finished bootie, except we're going to do an edging for it. But when I bought the bootie, they were just like this. No, you know, nothing fancy. But that's where being creative comes in. We can make these really special and personalized. Okay, I'm working on this little top seam now. Try to get that even and sewn shut. Again, don't pull your yarn too tight. It's funny, I'm not sure to use the left hand or the right hand since I'm ambidextrous. I guess whatever feels right for the moment. I'm not a true left-hander. I write left-handed and I eat left-handed, but everything else is right-handed. No, I think it was Paul McCartney is a true from the Beatles. Is a true left-hander. He even played his guitar left-handed, where I play right-handed. So I think that's one of the reasons my brain's always been a little confused. I have the junk mail in one hand and my keys in the other, and I throw out the keys and the good mail, and the junk mail is still in my hand. I'm like, oh my goodness. Had to fish through the garbage in front of the post office more than once in my life. Okay, we've got our top seam sewn. See? Now we're going to run this yarn, this long tail, in and out of the rows on the toe. Just like you do when you're making a winter cap. And we're going to do that more than once. We're going to go around it 2, maybe even 3 times. We want to really secure the toe. Some people might have very long toenails, like Howard Hughes. And toenails get sharp, and before you know it, they get the toes poking out, and the stitches have, falling apart on them. It's happened. Personally, I wouldn't know, but I'll never tell. Are we getting there? Can you see? I hope you can see. I really need a cameraman. Whoops, my needle just came out of, yarn just came out of the needle, dag nabbit. Oh, excuse me, let's get this hooked up again. Here we go. Oops, I dropped the needle. Told you, the hands are acting stupid. Stupid hands today. Good thing I don't have it's a good thing I don't have a granddaughter that's like 2 weeks old. Can I hold the baby? No, Ma, I don't think you should. Dark out already, my goodness. I don't like the time change. Here we go. We finally got that back in. Okay, back to where we were. Weaving it in and out on the bottom of the toe edge here. But I think you get the idea. So I'm going to do what I've got to do here, since I can't seem to keep my hand in a position where you can really see good, but I think you get the idea. If you've crocheted a winter hat, you know what to do with the toe here. Okay? See you in a minute. I've already went around once, and I have pulled my yarn, snugged it up, and you see my toes all puckered up. There you go. And I'm going to keep doing that. And then I may just do a stitch over and this way and that way, and just really want to secure this. Because think about it, that toe edge will probably get a lot of wear. And it's very possible it wouldn't hold up if it wasn't extra secure. So here is your completed slipper bootie. I mean, like I said, if you wanted to, you could leave it as it is, but I personally prefer an edging on it, and then I run a tie through it and pretty it up and make it so it won't come off someone's foot. Now we have to turn it right side out. Remember, it's not, the right side's in right now. This is the wrong side. So I only have one hand, so I can't do it, but you get the picture. Here's the other one that's been completed. So I hope this video was a lot easier for you all to follow as opposed to the one I put up before. Like I said, it was like a squirrel on crack. Yeah, it's easy for me because I've made them 1,000 times. For someone who's never made them before, maybe it's not so easy. Hey, my friend made them. They look gorgeous. They look beautiful. I said, great job, you did it. Then I said, wait. Get that screeching sound again. No, wait. I realized all her ridges were going north and south, and they need to be going east and west. Her ridges are all in the wrong direction. And that's what gives your booty the stretch, too, by the way. Thank you for coming by my channel, Yarn Barf. I'm Christy, and we're making another video for you soon, where we're going to put a real nice edging on our booty. And there's a lot of different edgings we can do. So you can make your booty personalized and unique and one of a kind. So thank you again. Hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know. And I hope to see you all soon. Bye.